Imagine you and a young kid, just 9 years old, stranded on a vast, unexplored island. Sounds like the beginning of an epic adventure, doesn't it? But here's where it gets interesting, and a bit creepy. There's a massive digital countdown timer etched into a cliff, looming over us. Each day, as the numbers tick down, a mysterious supply drop falls from the sky, packed with food and essentials. But these aren't your typical care packages, and there's a twist. The timer is set for only 100 days. Today is day 99. What would you do, with only 24 hours left until, well, we don't actually know what happens when the countdown hits zero? That's the spine-chilling part. Every nerve in my body is on edge as I try to piece together the clues we've stumbled upon here. Mysterious carvings on trees, strange footprints that aren't quite human, and eerie sounds at night that don't belong to any known animal. We've tried to map the island, looking for any sign of other people or clues about who or what is behind this, but so far it's just us and the unnerving silence, punctuated by the daily supply drops. The young kid, with curiosity bigger than the island itself, keeps a brave face, but I can tell he's scared. Heck, I'm scared too. But here's where we turn our fear into action. With less than a day left, we've got to make a plan. We've gathered as many supplies as we can, fortified a makeshift camp, and now it's all about waiting. Waiting for the unknown. Will we be rescued when the timer hits zero, or will something more sinister unfold? As the final hours tick down, every shadow seems darker, every rustle in the bushes a potential threat. Our imaginations run wild with scenarios, each more unsettling than the last. But whatever happens, we're in this together, and we've prepared to face it head on. So, what do you think is going to happen when the countdown ends? Do you have any theories? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, sometimes the real adventure begins where the map ends. Stay tuned, and let's uncover the mysteries of this island together. As the sun sets, the island takes on an even more mysterious aura. The shadows grow longer, and the sounds of the night become more pronounced. The night sky is a blanket of stars, offering a small comfort in the vast unknown. We sit by our campfire, the flickering flames casting eerie shadows on the surrounding trees. The young kid asks me questions, trying to make sense of our situation. I do my best to reassure him, but the truth is I have no answers. We talk about our lives before the island, the things we miss, and the people we hope to see again. It's a bittersweet conversation, filled with longing and hope. As the night wears on, we take turns keeping watch. Every sound, every movement in the darkness sets our hearts racing. The hours pass slowly, each minute feeling like an eternity. We try to stay awake, but exhaustion eventually takes over. In the early hours of the morning, just before dawn, we hear a noise. It's different from the usual sounds of the island. It's mechanical, deliberate. We scramble to our feet, hearts pounding. The noise grows louder, closer. We grab our makeshift weapons, ready to defend ourselves. The noise stops suddenly, and the silence is deafening. We strain our ears, trying to catch any hint of what's out there. Then, out of the darkness, a figure emerges. It's not human, but it's not entirely machine either. It's something in between, something we've never seen before. The figure moves slowly, deliberately, as if it's searching for something. We hold our breath, hoping it doesn't notice us. It stops a few feet away, scanning the area. We can see its eyes glowing in the darkness, a cold, unfeeling light. After what feels like an eternity, the figure turns and disappears into the night. We exhale, relief washing over us, but the encounter leaves us shaken. What was that thing? And why is it here? As dawn breaks, we try to make sense of what happened. The countdown timer is still ticking, and we're no closer to understanding our situation. We decide to explore the area where the figure disappeared, hoping to find some clues. The terrain is rough and the vegetation is dense. We push through, determined to uncover the island's secrets. After hours of searching, we come across a hidden cave. The entrance is small, almost invisible among the rocks and foliage. We squeeze through the opening, our flashlights cutting through the darkness. The cave is damp and cold, the air thick with the smell of earth and decay. As we venture deeper, we find strange markings on the walls. They're similar to the carvings we saw on the trees, but more intricate, more deliberate. The young kid traces the markings with his fingers, trying to decipher their meaning. I take pictures, hoping to analyze them later. At the back of the cave, we find a small, makeshift altar. It's covered in strange objects, bones, feathers, and what looks like pieces of metal. We're not sure what to make of it, but it's clear that someone, or something, has been here before us. We leave the cave, our minds racing with questions. Who built the altar, and what do the markings mean? As we make our way back to camp, we notice something strange. The countdown timer has stopped. It's frozen at 24 hours. We're not sure what to make of it. Does the timer malfunctioned, or is this part of the island's mystery? We decide to stay vigilant, keeping a close watch on the timer and our surroundings. The island has proven to be full of surprises, and we can't afford to let our guard down. As night falls again, we prepare for another long, tense night. The encounter with the figure has left us on edge, and we're determined to be ready for anything. We take turns keeping watch, our eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of movement. The hours pass slowly, each minute filled with anticipation. Just before dawn, we hear the mechanical noise again. This time it's closer, more insistent. We grab our makeshift weapons, ready to defend ourselves. The noise grows louder, and we can see a faint light in the distance. The light gets closer, and we realize it's the same figure from the night before. It's moving faster this time, as if it's searching for something specific. We hold our breath, hoping it doesn't notice us. But this time it stops right in front of our camp. The figure scans the area, its glowing eyes sweeping over us. We stay perfectly still, barely daring to breathe. After what feels like an eternity, the figure turns and disappears into the night. We exhale, relief washing over us once again, but the encounter leaves us more determined than ever to uncover the island's secrets. We can't keep living in fear, waiting for the unknown. As dawn breaks, we decide to explore the island further. We need to find answers, and we need to find them fast. We push through the dense vegetation, our eyes scanning for any sign of the figure or its origin. After hours of searching, we come across a hidden clearing. In the center, there's a large metallic structure. It's unlike anything we've seen before. The structure is covered in strange symbols, similar to the markings we saw in the cave. We approach cautiously, our hearts pounding. As we get closer, we realize the structure is some kind of machine. It's humming softly, and we can see lights blinking on its surface. The young kid reaches out to touch it, but I stop him. We don't know what this machine is or what it's capable of. We decide to observe the machine from a distance, taking notes and pictures. We need to understand what we're dealing with before we take any action. As we watch, the machine starts to emit a low, rhythmic pulse. It's almost hypnotic, drawing us in. We snap out of it, realizing we need to stay focused. The machine is clearly important, but we need more information. We decide to head back to camp and regroup. We need to come up with a plan to investigate the machine further. As we make our way back, we notice the countdown timer has started again. It's ticking down from 24 hours. We're not sure what to make of it, but we know we need to act fast. The island is full of mysteries, and time is running out. Back at camp, we discuss our findings and come up with a plan. We need to investigate the machine and find out what it's doing on the island. We gather our supplies and head back to the clearing. The machine is still there, humming softly. We approach cautiously, our hearts pounding. The young kid suggests we try to communicate with the machine, see if it responds. We try various methods, tapping on its surface, speaking to it, even using our flashlights to signal. But the machine remains unresponsive. Frustrated, we decide to take a closer look at the symbols. Maybe they hold the key to understanding the machine. The young kid traces the symbols with his fingers, trying to decipher their meaning. I take more pictures, hoping to analyze them later. And as we study the symbols, we notice a pattern. They seem to be instructions, a sequence of steps. We follow the instructions, pressing various parts of the machine in the order indicated by the symbols. To our surprise, the machine starts to respond. Lights blink and the humming grows louder. We step back, watching in awe as the machine comes to life. It's a mesmerizing sight, but also a little terrifying. The machine emits a series of beeps and clicks, and a small panel opens on its side. Inside, we find a strange device. The device is small, about the size of a smartphone, but it's covered in the same symbols as the machine.